The hour of convening having arrived, all members of the House will please report to the floor of the House and take seats. All members of the Georgia House of Representatives will report to the floor of the House and take seats. Mr. Clerk, would you ring the bell, please? All members will report to the floor of the House. We're going to have the morning roll call. All members present will please vote green to signify their presence in the chamber, and the clerk will unlock the machines. Have all members voted? Have all members voted? If so, the clerk will lock the machines. Doorkeepers will please close the doors and keep them closed. Well, good morning. Welcome to Legislative Day 8. We're clicking right along here. For now, anyway. We will begin our day with scripture reading and prayer by the chaplain, after which we will pledge allegiance to the flag of our country. Our chaplain this morning will be introduced by the gentleman from the 27th House District, Chairman Lee Hawkins. Chairman Hawkins.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. You know, God put special folks on this earth, and there are artists that can paint a portrait, and you swear that the eyes are following you when you move around the room. And He put pastors on this earth. When they preach, you swear that they're speaking directly to you. Well, I have the privilege of having one of those pastors as my pastor. You know, you get attached to folks, and I've always gotten attached to the previous pastors, and I've got attached to this one very much so. I think everyone that goes into that church leaves after his sermon feeling a little bit better and a little bit more uplifted with his messages. My reverend is Scott Hearn. He grew up in Decatur, Georgia. He attended Avondale High School, graduated from Young Harris College, and then went on to the Chandler School of Theology at Emory University. While doing his seminary, he was the youth pastor at our church, the Gainesville First United Methodist Church. That was 82 to 85. We had the opportunity to have him come back as our senior pastor, and we took that opportunity 2.5 years ago. And it's been a great time having him there. Scott is married to Sandy. They have 3 children, 3 girls, Allison, Carolyn, and Sarah. And I'm proud to introduce my pastor, Reverend Scott Hearn.
I've got to live up to that. Wow, okay. Speaker Ralston, Chairman and friend Lee Hawkins, and distinguished members of this body and guests, thank you for this high honor. I look out across this, and what I think of is a 3-month church council meeting. And Lord, y'all do need prayer every morning, don't you? I understand you had a Baptist preacher a couple days ago. We Methodists, right? We Methodists never like to follow Baptists, so here we go. Every now and then my wife Sandy will say to me, Shug, you know that no matter how loud you yell at that TV, the people on the screen can't hear you. Now, come on. Y'all yell at the TV. You know you do. You're yelling at President Trump, or you're yelling at Adam Schiff. You're yelling at a Democrat. You're yelling at a Republican. You're yelling at Sean Hannity, or you're yelling at Don Lemon. Maybe you prefer to yell at your radio. I don't know. There's a lot to yell at on the radio, too, isn't there? It seems today we all have opinions, and we don't always have, whether we have the facts or not. And having facts, that's another story. But it seems like we have a division today along the lines of haves and have-nots, rich, under-resourced, capitalism, socialism, big government, big business, Republican, Democrats. Well, I'm a preacher, so I want to offer today in my 35 minutes that I have. All right, here we go. Because I got a few things to say. No, I'm just teasing. As a pastor this morning, I want to offer just another framework this morning. Years ago, I heard a preacher talk about a national conscience, and that's always stuck with me. I mean, you know that conscience is that thing within you that it helps you determine what's right and wrong. There are things that we don't have to teach each other. We don't have to teach our kids, and we can't even explain it. We just know that some things are right and some things are wrong here, right? And so this preacher talked about a national conscience. And I got to thinking about that. There are certain things that we all as a nation agree are completely unacceptable. I mean, we would never stone a single woman who became pregnant. We would never do that. I mean, we are just abhorred by that. But that happens in some countries. And there's some things that other countries do that really bother us, and they don't think anything of it. You ever been to a beach in a foreign country? There's some things that you just can't unsee after that. I'm sorry I put that image in your head the rest of the day right there. My bad. So what? Here's the question. And I just want to kind of, just in my moments left, I want to kind of peel back the layers. What forms a national conscience? And I think when you peel back all of the layers, that we'll find what informs our national conscience is the second sentence in the Declaration of Independence. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain inalienable rights, that among them are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Our national conscience, and this is an opinion, it's history, was shaped by a sense of each person having a profound understanding of being accountable to God. I mean, you think back wasn't it our national conscience that helped us forge the way through the anti-slavery movement? I mean, wasn't it a national conscience that really drew us together, and we forged our way through the civil rights movement? I mean, wasn't that when it really came back to, when you came back to it, it was because of our national conscience and a sense of being accountable to God. In the 1950s, words from Abraham Lincoln's Gettysburg Address were kind of picked up, and they were placed in our Pledge of Allegiance. One nation under God. And in 1956, Congress passed a joint resolution. Let's just take that in for a minute. Congress passed a joint resolution that in God we trust should be printed on our coins. That wasn't that long ago. But it feels like it's a million years ago, doesn't it? That it's from our personal accountability to God that's where we get our oughts and our ought not. And when we see ourselves then as under God, we understand that God is the source of all of our prosperity. Not our hard work, not us, as well as the one that we are accountable to is God. So, that's what informed originally our national conscience. So, I want to add a couple of other choices this morning too: conservative, progressive, Democrat, Republican, big government, small government, rich, under-resourced. And it's this: accountability to God or accountability to self. In God we trust, or in we trust. Can you imagine if we put first and foremost every morning as we came in this room? Yes, no doubt, you are accountable to your constituents. But before that, you're accountable to God. And this is the promise from our Heavenly Father. 2 Chronicles 7:14. If my people who are called by my name will humble themselves and pray and seek my face and turn from their wicked ways, then I will hear from heaven. Hear that promise? I'll hear from heaven and will forgive their sin and will heal their land. Let's pray. Gracious God, it all belongs to you. It all comes from you, and it still belongs to you. We thank you for the honor of this authority that you have bestowed upon each of these sisters and brothers in this sacred space. And may we look first to you and seek you, that you might hear from heaven and will forgive us and heal our land and heal our country. And we pray this in the strong name of Jesus Christ. Amen. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Doorkeepers will please unlock the doors. The chair recognizes Chairman Hogan, the chair of the Committee on Information and Audits.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Your Committee on Information and Audits has read the journal of the previous legislative day and found it to be correct.
Chairman Hogan, the chair of the Committee on Information and Audits, reports that the journal of the previous legislative day has been read and found to be correct. Is there any objection to the confirmation of the journal? The chair hears none, and the journal is confirmed. The clerk will read the resolution establishing the order of business for the day.
Mr. Burns, letter 59, move the following meeting establishes the order of business during the first part of the period, unanimous consents. Introduction bills and resolutions. First reading and reference of House bills and resolutions. Second reading of bills and resolutions. Reports of standing committees. Third reading and passage of uncontested local bills and resolutions. Morning orders.
Is there any objection to the adoption of the resolution establishing the order of business for the day? The chair hears none, and the resolution is adopted. First reading of bills and resolutions. The clerk will read.
House Bill 742 by Representative Trammell, the 132nd, Clark, and the 98th, Singleton, and the 71st. Bill being titled an act to amend Chapter 5 of Title 45 of the official code of Georgia annotated relating to vacation of office.
Governmental Affairs.
House Bill 839 by Representative Jones, the 25th, Werkheiser, the 157th, Parks, and the 101st, Hill, the 3rd, Holly, the 111th, and others. Bill being titled an act to amend Chapter 8 of Title 34 of the official code of Georgia annotated relating to employment security.
Industry and Labor.
House Bill 840 by Representative Wiedauer, the 119th, Gaines, the 117th, Kelly, the 16th, Saints, the 180th, Jones, the 47th. Bill being titled an act to amend Part 1A of Article 7 of Chapter 3 of Title 20 of the official code of Georgia annotated relating to non-public secondary educational institutions.
Higher Education.
House Bill 841 by Representative Scoggins, the 14th, Gamble of the 15th, Kelly of the 16th. Bill being titled an act to amend an act to provide a homestead exemption from certain Bartow County ad valorem taxes.
Intergovernmental Coordination.
House Bill 842 by Representative Williams, the 145th, Jackson, the 128th, Matheson, the 144th, Gravely, the 67th, Powell, the 32nd, and others. Bill being titled an act to amend Chapter 1 of Title 31 of the official code of Georgia annotated relating to general provisions regarding health.
Insurance.
House Bill 843 by Representative Douglas, the 78th, Trammell, the 132nd, Frye, the 118th, Hawkins, the 27th, Walensky, the 79th, and others. Bill being titled an act to amend Part 15 of Article 6 of Chapter 2 of Title 20 of the official code of Georgia annotated relating to miscellaneous provisions under the Quality Basic Education Act.
Education.
House Bill 844 by Representative Gullett of the 19th, Knight of the 130th, Yurt of the 152nd, Earhart of the 36th, and Mathis of the 144th. The bill being titled an act to amend Article 1 of Chapter 5 of Title 48 of the official code of Georgia annotated relating to general provisions regarding ad valorem taxation of property.
Ways and Means.
House Bill 845 by Representative Glanton of the 75th, Nix of the 69th, Stovall of the 74th, and Belton of the 112th. The bill being titled an act to amend Subpart 2 of Part 6 of Article 6 of Chapter 2 of Title 20 of the official code of Georgia annotated relating to conditions of employment. That's 845.
Education.
House Bill 846 by Representative Corbett of the 174th, Harrell of the 106th, Carson of the 46th, Kelly of the 16th, and Williamson of the 115th. Bill being titled an act to amend Title 48 of the official code of Georgia annotated relating to revenue and taxation.
Ways and Means.
House Bill 847 by Representative Corbett of the 174th, McCall of the 33rd, Dickey of the 140th, Pruitt of the 149th, Gilliard of the 162nd. Bill being titled an act to amend Chapter 23 of Title 2 of the official code of Georgia annotated relating to hemp farming.
Agriculture and Consumer Affairs.
House Bill 848 by Representative Blackman of the 146th, Williams of the 145th, Lumsden of the 12th, Taylor of the 173rd, Shannon of the 84th, and others. Bill being titled an act to amend Article 4, Chapter 5 of Title 50 of the official code of Georgia annotated relating to disposition of surplus property.
Governmental Affairs.
House Bill 849 by Representative Douglas, the 78th, Trammell, the 132nd, Hawkins, the 27th, Powell, the 32nd, Howell, the 124th, and others. Bill be titled an act to amend Chapter 8 of Title 31 of the official code of Georgia annotated relating to care and protection of indigent and elderly patients.
Health and Human Services.
House Bill 850 by Representative Ridley, the 6th, Harrell of the 106th, Jaspers, the 11th, Tarvin of the 2nd, Gravely, the 67th, and others. The bill be titled Act to amend Chapter 8 of Title 48 of the official code of Georgia annotated relating to sales and use taxes.
Ways and Means.
House Bill 851 by Representative Reeves, the 34th, and Elowitz, the 42nd, Setzler, the 35th, Williams, the 37th, Dollar, the 45th, and others. Bill being titled an act to amend an act creating the State Court of Cobb County.
Intergovernmental Coordination.
House Bill 852 by Representative Glanton, the 75th. A bill being entitled an act to amend Code Section 6321 of the Official Code of Georgia annotated relating to lands acquired, owned, leased, and controlled.
Governmental Affairs.
House Resolution 874 by Representative Trammell, 132nd, Clark, and the 98th. A resolution proposing an amendment to the Constitution of the State of Georgia so as to provide for the suspension of the salary of certain suspended public officials.
Judiciary.
That completes first readers.
Second reading of bills and resolutions. The clerk will read.
House Bill 824 by Representative Allen of the 40th, a bill relating to special license plates promoting certain beneficial projects. House Bill 825 by Representative England of the 116th, Gaines of the 117th, Kirby of the 114th, a bill to amend an act providing authority for the members of the Board of Education of Barrow County. House Bill 826 by Representative Watson of the 172nd and Taylor of the 173rd, a bill to amend an act providing a new charter for the city of Meigs and Thomas County. House Bill 827 by Representative Stevens of the 164th, a bill relating to general provisions relative to the G.O.L. Smith II Georgia World Congress Center Authority. House Bill 828 by Representative Stevens of the 164th, a bill relating to handicapped persons. House Bill 829 by Representative Stevens of the 164th and Harold of the 106th, a bill relating to assessment of tangible property. House Bill 830 by Representative Benson of the 31st, a bill relating to eligible large retirement systems authorized to invest in certain alternative investments. House Bill 831 by Representative Houston of the 170th, a bill to authorize the assessment and collection of a technology fee by the Probate Court of Cook County. House Bill 832 by Representative Carpenter of the 4th, Perkle of the 155th, Bodie of the 62nd, Douglas of the 78th, and Silcox of the 52nd, a bill relating to general provision applicable to counties, municipal corporations, and other governmental entities. House Bill 833 by Representative Stevens of the 164th, a bill relating to the waters of the state, ports, and watercraft. House Bill 834 by Representative Jaspers of the 11th, Watson of the 172nd, Perkle of the 155th, Houston of the 170th, England of the 116th, and others, a bill relating to definitions regarding revenue boards. House Bill 835 by Representative Turner of the 21st, Caldwell of the 20th, Singleton of the 71st, Pullen of the 131st, a bill relating to ad valorem taxation of property. House Bill 836 by Representative Carpenter of the 4th, Harrell of the 106th, Powell of the 32nd, Fry of the 118th, Williams of the 148th, a bill relating to alcoholic beverages. House Bill 837 by Representative Martin of the 49th, Jones of the 47th, Jones of the 25th, Silcox of the 52nd, Stevens of the 164th, a bill relating to development authorities. House Bill 838 by Representative Hitchens of the 161st, Lott of the 122nd, Jaspers of the 11th, Gravely of the 6th, 7th, Thumbs of the 12th, a bill relating to privileged communications between law enforcement officers and peer counselors of the Office of Public Safety Officer Support. House Resolution 875 by Representative Kendrick of the 93rd, Bennett of the 94th, Mitchell of the 88th, Beverly of the 143rd, Marin of the 96th, and others. Resolution creating the House Study Committee on Financing Options for Cannabis-Based Businesses. House Resolution 876 by Representative Kendrick of the 93rd, Mitchell of the 88th, Beverly of the 143rd, Bennett of the 94th, Marin of the 96th, and others. A resolution urging the United States Congress to enact legislation removing cannabis from the Federal Controlled Substances Act, exempting certain activities related to marijuana, facilitating the full spectrum of private banking services for cannabis-related businesses, and encouraging scientific research as related to cannabis products. House Resolution 962 by Representative Stevens of the 164th, a resolution proposing amendment to the Constitution so as to authorize the General Assembly to provide by general law for local referenda to authorize assessment of residential homesteaded property owned by individuals of certain ages at 20% of its fair market value regarding local school district taxes for educational purposes. Through second readers.
Reports of standing committees. The clerk will read.
Representative Jan Tankus of the 160th District, Chairman of the Committee on Intergovernmental Coordination Local, submitted the following report. Mr. Speaker, your Committee on Intergovernmental Coordination Local had under consideration the following bills of the House. It is instructed me to report the same back to the House with the following recommendations. House Bill 706 do pass. House Bill 753 do pass. House Bill 802 do pass. House Bill 817 do pass. Respectfully submitted. Representative Tankersley, the 160th District, Chairman.
We are about to go on to the local calendar. We're about to take up the local calendar. Third reading and passage of uncontested local bills If there is no objection, we will vote on the local calendar as a whole with a recorded vote. Hearing no objection, it is so ordered. The clerk will read the local calendar.
House Bill 706 by Representative Wiedauer, the 119th of Coney County. House Bill 753 by Representative Nix, the 69th, City of Franklin. House Bill 802 by Representative Greens, the 151st, Calhoun County. House Bill 817 by Representative Fleming of the 121st, Columbia County.
Is there any objection to the previous question being ordered on the local calendar? The chair hears none. The previous question is ordered. Is there any objection to agreeing to the report of the committee, which was favorable to the passage of the bills? The chair hears none. The report of the committee is agreed to. Shall these bills now pass? All those in favor of the passage of the bills on the local calendar will vote aye. Those opposed will vote no, and the clerk will unlock the machines. Have all members voted? Have all members voted? If so, the clerk will lock the machines on the passage of the bills on the local calendar. The ayes are 161, the nays are 0. These bills, having received the requisite constitutional majority, are therefore passed. We are going on now to morning orders. Morning orders. Chair feels a little generous today, so we're going to go with a minute and a half. Come on, show me some love for that, okay? And then we're not going to just turn the mic off. We're going to execute people in the well if you stay longer. Chair recognizes for a morning order Chairman Ron Stevens.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Ladies and gentlemen of the House, today is Savannah Day. Savannah's capital since 1733. Savannah has served as the cornerstone of our state. Savannah is known for the beautiful architecture, the rich history, the global cuisine, the economic impact, not only for our state and our country, but also for the world. The hostess city of the South welcomes more than 14 million people. Remember, we've only got 11 in the entire state. And they had 14 million last year, in the home of the fastest growing port on the planet Earth. We're thankful for the investments made in our community, like Gulfstream, the film industry, which is now doing Ozark in Savannah. And we know we'll continue the Savannah with a coastal region and flourish with all kinds of opportunity. We want to thank everyone who traveled 250 miles to celebrate Savannah Day here under the Gold Dome, and I hope that you'll join us tonight between 5 and 7 at the Freight Depot. I would like to recognize the mayor and council if they are here for the city of Savannah. Would you stand? Okay, well, they're over at the alumni. Please come tonight. Thank you very much.
Chair recognizes the chair of the Majority Caucus, Chairman Hatchett, for a morning order.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'm going to be joined by Chairman Pruitt and Representative Mathis. You know, it's Savannah Day, and they have a little celebration in Savannah on a certain day. I think it's March the 17th. But there's another city you go by on the way to Savannah. It's called Dublin. And we've been having a St. Patrick's Festival. This will be the 55th year, and it's run by a totally volunteer organization. And we're pleased to welcome today to that group that's running this festival this year, to the St. Patrick's Committee, Dublin Lawrence St. Patrick's Committee. Thank y'all for being here.
Chair recognizes Chairman Cantrell for a morning order.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. As requested from the Speaker, I bring to you a report from our movie last night that 100% of our attendance remained for the end of the movie, all the way through the credits. And I want to give our members a great hand for 100% bipartisan support for that. And during that time, we noticed a very familiar name on that credits that belongs to the famous last name that belongs to probably the most important person in this chamber. So, not named Al Williams or anybody else. The Speaker's daughter, Elizabeth Ralston, worked on that movie that we saw last night, and so we want to congratulate the Speaker on his daughter's great success. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Chair recognizes Representative Bentley, Representative Prince, Representative Dean Smyrie, Representative Howard, and Representative Stovall for a morning order.
Well, thank you, Mr. Speaker, and good morning, colleagues. Today is a great day because we are celebrating Fort Valley State University, Savannah State University, and Albany State University alumni. They are here at the state capitol. And colleagues, I encourage you to please stand and welcome those alumni associations to their state capitol. Whoa, thank you. And we got Tyrone Poole in the house, everybody. NFL player from graduate of Fort Valley State University. And thank you, Mr. Speaker, and thank you, members of the House.
Representative Bentley, I wish you were in a better mood today. I know you're kind of down and Chair recognizes Representative Mary Frances Williams for a morning order.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. You know, this House cranked out a pretty darn good budget last year. And then, the next thing you know, there's a $200 million hole in the budget, and the public is being asked to bite the bullet. I was elected to be the eyes and ears of the people back home. Games are being played with this budget, and I don't think this House has to play these games because it's Georgians that are going to lose, and that's just not right. And we all know it. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Chair recognizes Representative McLeod for a morning order.
Thank you, Speaker Ralston. Big up to my colleagues. I want to reflect on the budget as well. We cannot allow a budget that disguises itself as a necessary tightening of the belt, but in actual fact, it will present more challenges to the livelihood of many of our employers, otherwise known as the state of Georgia's people or our constituents. In this budget, we offer educators a small pay increase that allows them to barely live comfortably while reducing the little money they will have for retirement. In this budget, we demonstrate that the health care is only for the healthy because we are decreasing funding to behavioral health and developmental disabilities by $24 million. In this budget, we are allowing private prison owners to line their pockets with increased funding of $2.5 million, while taking out almost $44 million out of the budget for state-run facilities. In this budget, we are prioritizing the prosecution of people over the public defense attorneys to protect them. In this budget, we will be contributing to the mass incarceration by decreasing budgets to the departments that provide resources for employment and rehabilitation by almost $57 million. At this time, when the United States of America leads in...
Lady's time has expired.
I will continue
I'm sorry?
tomorrow. Thank you.
That's what I thought you said. I just wanted to clarify it. Chair recognizes Chairman Heath Clark for a morning order.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Colleagues, it's hard to believe I've been here this is my 6th session here in the Gold Dome. In the middle of my 2nd session, my wife and I, we welcomed our 4th child into this world, and today is his birthday. He's 4 years old. Joshua Garrison Clark, we call him Little G. Happy birthday. He's watching back home. Love you, buddy. I'll see you soon.
Chair recognizes Chairman Tankersley for a morning order.
Good morning, colleagues. I wanted to be sure that you know today is Keep Georgia Beautiful Foundation's Day at the Capitol. This foundation was created in 1978 by executive order of Governor Busby, and that's the division of Keep America Beautiful with 70 local affiliates. These affiliates reach more than 80% of Georgia's population with litter prevention, waste reduction, recycling, and beautification projects, including the Great American Cleanup that a lot of us take part in, and the Bring One for the Chipper program around Christmas. More than 93,000 volunteers do participate in this foundation and affiliate programs throughout our state. So I would highly recommend that you go down today. They're in the Rotunda beginning today at 2 p.m. and thank the Keep Georgia Beautiful affiliate and thank them for the tremendous job that they do in keeping our state clean and beautiful and desirable for businesses and industries to locate in. Thank you.
Chair recognizes Chairman Jaspers for a morning order.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker and colleagues. On your desk is a top 10 issues. It's put out by the Georgia Partnership for Excellence in Education. Well, when I got it a couple of days ago, I said, well, I'll probably never read all this. So I suggest you just pick one. In the matter of time that you have, just pick one of the subjects that they look at. This is their 16th edition of really looking at education issues very carefully, and I think you'd like it. And look, one come talk to me, but it's very good. Thank you.
Chair recognizes Representative Hutchinson for a morning order.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Good morning, colleagues. Today I want to introduce you to 11-year-old London. London is one of Georgia's over 2,000 children available for adoption today. London is an ambitious and funny girl who likes to run, swim, ride her bike, and play with her dolls and toys. She also enjoys playing Candyland, listening to gospel, R&B, and classical music at 11, and watching animated, action, and family movies and shows on Disney, Nick, and PBS. So help me welcome London, and she is available for adoption. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Chair recognizes Chairman Timothy Barr to introduce the Doctor of the Day.
Good morning, colleagues. Today I have the privilege of introducing Dr. Dalal. He is board certified by the American Board of Orthopedic Surgery. Dr. Dalal's practice as Orthopedic Atlantic includes general orthopedics, sports medicine, shoulder injuries, which I'm glad they switched that from shoulder surgery because that's hard to say, and fracture care. Dr. Dalal is very active in our community and serves as a team physician for Duluth and Central Gwinnett High Schools, co-director of the BB&T Atlanta Open Professional Tennis Tournament, sideline physician for the Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl and Chick-fil-A kickoff game. Dr. Dalal also serves as the hand surgeon for the Atlanta Gladiators professional hockey team, and he is currently the president-elect for the Georgia Orthopedic Society. But more importantly, he is a family man and my friend, and thank you so much for coming, sir.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Speaker Ralston and Representative Tim Barr, for this opportunity. It is my utmost joy to serve as Doctor of the Day. Today, I understand this is your 4th legislative day this week, so I know it's a long week. And so I'll just leave you with this. Please remember that health is wealth, okay? I know that you guys are sacrificing a lot of time to take care of us Georgians and to promote not only the quality but also the accessibility of healthcare in Georgia. But you can't keep working if you're ill. So please stay hydrated and wash your hands. All right, take care.
He's not going to speak though, is he?
No, that's what I'm saying. That's up to you, obviously, but I wouldn't.
We
And
don't
I've already
have-
told his
is that-
staff, you know, we've got.
Chair wants to recognize on the floor of the House a former member of this body, former State Representative Tom Taylor. Clerk will read the caption to House Resolution 900.
House Resolution 900 by Representative Stevens, the 164th, Gilliard, the 162nd, Gordon, of the 163rd, and Peachtree of the 166th. A resolution inviting the Savannah Children's Choir to be designated as junior ambassadors from the state of Georgia to the People's Republic of China and for other purposes.
Chair recognizes the Chair of the Economic Development and Tourism Committee, Chairman Ron Stevens, for an invite resolution.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Ladies and gentlemen of the House, today we're honored to have the Savannah Children's Choir. They were supposed to leave here and go to China for chorus, of course. There are 100 members from K-12, public school, private school, home scholarship, and they are premier choir with us today. And today we have the students, Reese Stangback, Tori Cummings, Jamar Campbell, Emily Salzer, and if you would you make welcome Melinda Fradley? I knew I'd spell that right and say it right. Who's the principal and the coordinator? Would you make welcome the Savannah Children's Choir?
Thank you, Chairman Stevens, Mr. Speaker, and the members of the Savannah delegation for inviting us to the Capitol today. While we had planned on traveling to China, it looks like those plans are on indefinite hold. However, we've come up with an alternate plan of visiting Speaker Ralston's house in Blue Ridge for 10 days. All 50 of us. We don't eat much. With me today, as introduced, were Emily Jamari, Tori Reese, but the other 50 members of Premier are up in the gallery, and they will be singing a concert. Those are your representatives in China, and they will be singing a concert on the steps at noon inside. Hope you can join us.
Thank you. Good. Thank you very much. Just take a quick picture.
Clerk will read the caption to House Resolution 947.
House Resolution 947 by Representatives Mathiak of the 73rd, Knight of the 130th, Bonner of the 72nd, Silcox of the 52nd, Reeves of the 34th, and others. A resolution recognizing a long and steady friendship between Georgia and Japan, as shown by the 46th anniversary of the Office of the State of Georgia in Japan, and for other purposes.
Chair recognizes Representative Mathiak for an invite resolution.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and good morning, colleagues. Today, I have the extreme honor of introducing you to His Majesty, the Emperor of Japan. He's the 126th direct family line in Japan. But furthermore, Georgia and Japan enjoys $12.1 billion of import-export trade. There are 650 Japanese companies within our state and over 40,000 employees. So this morning I'd like to honor you, Emperor, and thank you so much for being here. Consulate General, I'm so sorry. Big honor, right? Yeah. Here you go. I'll let you give me.
Thank you very much. For your information, I'm a Consul General. It is an honor for me to be here today. I would like to express my sincere gratitude to Speaker Ralston, along with Representative Knight Smeyer, a member of the Georgia-Japan Caucus, and all other members of the Georgia House of Representatives. Over the decade, our bonds have made both of our nations more successful. We are fortunate to have forged not only an alliance, but a friendship. Thank you again for the honor, and thank you for Your Excellency for your continued support. I look forward to many more years of prosperity and friendship between Japan and Georgia. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Clerk will read the caption to a group of privileged resolutions.
Recognizing and commending United States Senator Johnny Isakson. Commending and congratulating Corey Chapin, honoring the life and memory of Sarah Lynn V. Gordon. Recognizing February 7th through 14th, 2020 is Congenital Heart Defect Awareness Week at the State Capitol. Commending J. Alvin Wilbank, CEO and Superintendent of Gwinnett County Public Schools. Commending Together Georgia and recognizing January 29, 2020 is Together Georgia Day at the State Capitol. Commending the Dr. Mac Bowen Horizon Foundation. Commending the Leadership Putnam Class of 2020. Recognizing February 11, 2020 is Dyslexia Day at the State Capitol and urging schools, local education agencies, and the state agency to address the profound educational impact of dyslexia. Recognizing February 4, 2020 is Community Health Centers Day and commending the Georgia Primary Care Association. Commending Clark Atlanta University and recognizing February 18, 2020 is Clark Atlanta University Day at the State Capitol. Recognizing and commending the University of Georgia chapter of Blue Key National Honor Society. Commending the League of Voters of Georgia on the occasion of its 100th anniversary. Recognizing and commending Willis Bivens, and for other purposes, that completes the reading of the privilege resolution.
Is there any objection to adopting the privilege resolutions? The chair hears none and the resolutions are adopted. Okay, we're going on now to announcements. If you have signed up for an announcement, make your way to the front of the chamber. Chair recognizes the chair of the Majority Caucus, Chairman Hatchett, for an announcement.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The House Majority Caucus will meet today at noon in room 403, the Capitol. House Majority Caucus at noon in room 403. Thank you.
Chair recognizes Chairman David Knight for an announcement.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. In light of the recognition of the Consulate General from Japan, I want to remind you that today, January 30th, we will begin our Lunch with a Job Creator series, which features a discussion with one of Georgia's many Japanese companies. Our first feature is YKK, a great company that manufactures many different types of fastening products, but you're probably best known for their zippers. Please come by for the members, again, members only, room 216 in the Capitol at noon, and grab lunch and hear from the first Japanese company to establish itself in Georgia. A great company and a great beginning to the relationship between Japan and Georgia. Thank you.
Chair recognizes Chairman Sam Watson for an announcement.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Subcommittee of Appropriations and General Government will be meeting in the CLOB today at 2 o'clock, room 415. Thank you.
Chair recognizes Representative McLean for an announcement.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The Georgia Working Families Legislative Caucus will meet in room 307 in the CLOB, and our luncheon presentation will be done by GBPI to talk about the budget. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Chair recognizes Chairman Ballinger for an announcement.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Your Committee for Juvenile Justice will be meeting this afternoon at 1. Thank you so much.
Chair recognizes Chairman Corbett for an announcement.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. 8 a.m. in the morning, the Motor Vehicles Committee will meet in room 515 in the CLOB. Thank you.
That completes our announcements. If you have a page here, you better come up here to the rostrum immediately upon adjournment. We're not going to go looking for you. Chair recognizes the Majority Leader of the House for a motion.
Mr. Speaker, I move that this House stand adjourned until 9:30 a.m. Friday, January the 31st, 2020.
Okay, that's 9:30 tomorrow.
9:30 a.m., yes, sir.
The Majority Leader has moved that this House be adjourned until Friday, January 31 at 9:30 a.m. All those in favor of the motion will say aye. Those opposed will say no. The ayes have it, and this House will be adjourned until Friday, January 31 at 9:30 a.m.